Hey everyone, Peter here with Enjoy Winter. Marathon season is in full effect right now, and the Birkie is coming up really quickly. So, with that in mind, we're going to talk about marathon hydration carrying systems. When skiing a long distance race, such as the Birkie or other ski marathons, it's really important to have good hydration. This is not just going to be water. This is going to be some sort of sports drink. It's important to have sports drink because it has electrolytes and carbohydrates, and it's a very simple and easy to digest form of electrolytes. There are many different types of sports drinks. I like the powdered stuff the best, like Gatorade, Scratch, Goo Powder, Tailwind, or Hammer Nutrition Powder. The Noon style tabs that you drop in your water and fizz a little bit aren't very good, and I wouldn't recommend them because they're just electrolytes. While electrolytes are important, they don't have any carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are by far the most important thing you want to put back in your body because they digest quickly and it's the main energy system that your body uses during a ski race. Having the sports drinks powders are a lot better than the Noon style tablets because you're replenishing those carbohydrates. Throughout a 50K, we also need to eat. This will be different depending on how you plan on racing the 50K. If you're racing the Birkie to get the best time you can, hit a PR and be really high up on the result sheet, then you're gonna want to err towards more faster digesting and lighter foods. This would look like purely gels or some sort of shot block. This is because those are straight carbs and they digest quickly and they're easy to get down and they don't sit in your stomach. Now, on the other hand, if you are just out there for fun and you're getting the experience and you're enjoying the journey, you may want to pack maybe some bars or even some whole foods such as bananas or peanut butter and jellies. Now these, having fats and proteins in them, are going to sit a little heavier in your stomach. Now that we've gone over some basic nutrition and hydration for races such as the Birkie or other marathons, let's get into the packs that you're going to use to carry your nutrition and hydration. Right off the bat, I prefer something that sits on your waist. This is because in skiing you do a lot of this motion and your body has a little bit of this motion also. So if you have a lot of weight on your shoulders in a backpack or something, first of all, when you lift your hands up to pull every time, you're going to be lifting extra weight when your hands come up and your shoulders come up. This is going to eventually fatigue your shoulders, and it's not going to be as comfortable later down the road once you get past double O or towards the end of the marathon. Another reason is that weight is probably going to strain more of your back and your core. And this is because in skiing, you have this motion where you're bending down. And now I'm lifting my chest back up to reset to go to the other side. And every time I'm lifting my chest up, I'm lifting more weight than I'm used to when I'm skiing because now I'm carrying a pack with heavy water and nutrition needs on it. So the best way is to have a drink belt, at least in my opinion. And if you train with a pack, your body will get used to it, and that way it's not such a shock when you get to the Birkie or to your other marathon events. So starting over here with our large day pack. This is kind of just like a hiking day pack. You can fit your extra jacket, a bunch of water, and a bunch of snacks in it, and some other things if you may need it too. This pack is rather large. It has a waist strap too, in case you're carrying a big heavy load, and a chest strap. I would not use this no matter what kind of Birkie you're doing. You might end up overfilling it and having more that you need. And I think veering away from a large pack like this will make you have a better experience because you won't be fatiguing your body quite as much carrying so much stuff, because the pack alone is quite heavy. Moving on down the line to our more basic lightweight style Camelback or hydration pack. It's very small, it's very lightweight. If you could, I would err for this one because it does have a nice pocket where you can fit your snacks. The one problem with this pack is when you put it on, there's no good way to really get to your gels or your blocks because there's no pockets up here. It fits well and it's comfortable and it's super lightweight, but in order to get anything in the pouch in the back, I have to take it off and then I get to the pack. So I would also probably not go for one of these, though if you have it laying around and you're not looking to buy a new piece of gear, something like this will do just fine. Also, if you're planning on stopping at all of the aid stations and you're gonna be in a position where you can take your pack off and you're not super worried about time, something like this would work really well. And now we have our last shoulder pack. This is your classic running vest. This is a little bit bigger of a running vest. They make some smaller, lighter weight ones that don't have as much pouch in the back. But these, as opposed to something like this, it's nice because once you get it on, you don't need to take it off because the pockets in the front are great spots to hold your gels or your bars or your blocks. Having the water kind of up here on the front of your body though, isn't quite as comfortable in my opinion than having it on the back. A lot of these running vests do have an option to have the water on the back where you can put a bladder in. And I prefer that, but I still don't like having the weight so high up on my body. I like it a little lower around my mass. But if you have a running vest, I would err for the running vest over even the lightweight Camelback just because of these front pockets, and that way you don't have to take it off and fumble with it. But it's all personal preference. So now we'll keep moving on and we'll get into our belts. This is a basic drink belt. Many skiers use this. It's great for training. It fits very comfortably and it has a great pocket in the back. The problem with this is when I'm using it, in order to drink out of it, I have to take it completely off. It can be done while you're skiing, but it's not ideal. And then getting it back on, you're just gonna use a lot more time, especially if you're racing your friends, trying to get really high up on the result sheet and you're trying to get PRs. This is good, but I wouldn't err towards it. It's very hard to drink out of sometimes, especially while you have your poles on. You have to unscrew the cap a bunch of turns and then get the cap back on, and it can just be a hassle. Great training tool, not the best racing tool. Moving on to our next belt. This belt is just your basic water bottle carrying belt. This belt is super good, and I've raced Birkies in this belt. It's very nice. This one has a little bit of elastic right here, so there is some give to it as you're flexing your core and coming down on your poles really strongly. Another nice feature about this belt is there is a pocket, and while I'm skiing, I can easily turn it like so to get to the pocket with my gels in it. The downside with this is it can be hard to get the bottle back in. When I go back to put it in, it can be really hard to find it. This one's a little easier than some, but even now I need 2 hands. That's one of the downfalls, and you can drop your water bottle. I have dropped a water bottle on the Birkie before. It kind of sucks. Another thing with these is they don't hold very big bottles, so you might need someone to meet you at halfway at like 00 or something and exchange a bottle. Whenever I've raced in this pouch, I've exchanged a bottle and I've used 2 smaller, about 16-ounce bottles. This belt is great, and I would highly recommend it for anyone that has one of these laying around or to go get one. They have them at pretty much every sports shop, especially ski-specific shops. I would use this belt over any of these shoulder packs, but that's my personal preference. I really don't like anything on my shoulders. And finally, we're gonna move on to our drink belt with a straw. This is a Coxa belt. These are a little newer in the past few years on the marathon scene. Everyone in Europe on the big Visma Classic scenes use a belt like this or this exact belt. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best hydration systems for skiing. It is built specifically for marathon skiing, so you can't really beat it. It holds a little over 1 liter of water, similar to all of our other packs, minus the bottle where you might have to exchange, or no, you're gonna go with a little less water. And it's also nice because it has this Velcro elastic waistband. It's super stretchy. It's like this neoprene material, and it is very comfortable. The Velcro is super nice because once you get it on, it stays where you want it. With a belt like this that has a buckle with a nylon strap, these straps can get loose and you might have to end up tightening them over the course of the race. So eliminating that and having the Velcro is just one less thing to worry about. The straw has a nice insulated sleeve so that it doesn't freeze, because if your straw freezes, you can't drink out of it, and that's a bummer. Let me put my bib on to show you how the straw attaches. So there's this little clip that attaches to your bib right in the corner here, and you attach the straw to that, and then it just sits nicely right where you want it, up by your mouth. So now as I'm skiing, if I'm going down a big hill, I can get my tub, just reach up, and boom, I can hydrate. Super easy, super simple, and it has these nice pockets right in the front here. There's 2 of them that are the perfect size for a gel, which is awesome because I can put a gel in here and have just the tip sticking out, so I can just reach down and grab it, and I don't need to spin the belt or fumble around back here. The other nice part is in the back, it has these nice pockets, and I don't need, there's no zipper or anything, it's just elastic, and I can stick a gel or a bar in here, or blocks, and I don't need to be fumbling around with a zipper and worried about losing my stuff. These Coxa belts are awesome, and I highly recommend using one in the Birkie or other marathons. If you want one of these, you can contact Katie Feldman at her email, and you can order them directly from her. No matter which hydration pack you choose to use, there are a few key things you want to remember when you pick yours. First off, personal preference. Some people like waist stuff, and some people like a shoulder pack. I'm very pro waist pack, but that's just me. The second thing is what kind of marathon you're going for. If you're trying to race it and get a really good time, I would definitely err towards something nicer. Otherwise, if you're just out there to have a good time and be outside and go for an adventure, you might be able to get away with what you already have. The third thing is to make sure your liquids don't freeze. This is important because if your liquids are frozen, you can't drink them, and then you won't be able to replenish everything that you've been depleting. A few key ways to do this is to make sure your pack is either insulated and or sits on your body. With your Camelback and pretty much all of these packs, the liquids sit pretty much on your body, and this will help your liquid stay warm by taking your body heat. The next thing you need to make sure you do is to clear the hose. If you have a bladder system with the hose, you really need to make sure you clear this every time. So once you drink it, you need to blow back into the hose to get all the liquid back into your pack so it doesn't freeze. One thing you can do to mitigate this is to get a hose such as this that's insulated. So this is just a thicker rubberized hose that has an insulation value and helps to not keep your liquids frozen. Or you can find an insulation cover. The hose on this one is just a normal hose, such as this hose, but it has this nice insulation cover. So this covers most of the style of pack you can use. There'll be various brands that will do the same style of pack, and it's just whatever you have, you can get or you prefer. Remember, it's personal preference, but at the end of the day, you just want something that's comfortable and it's gonna make you feel your best as you're skiing throughout the race. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in Hayward at the finish, or maybe at the sawmill later that evening.